Johnny Romeo's new collection, Bloodsport. What's the very first step of your process?
I like to always start with a title, and I always like to give the show a context and give it a parameter, and work within a parameter. So, for instance, with this show, I often think about heroism and heroism in boxing. And so I'll go away and I'll start doing some research, and I'll look at Martin Scorsese's Raging Bull, and I'll study the angles and study the talk and the text, and that will lead me on to maybe watching, Jean-Claude Van Damme's Bloodsport, and all of a sudden, out of all that research, something jumps out,
What do you think about heroes?
Yeah, I think we're all heroes, eh? I think at the end of the day, I think there's a hero in all of us. I know it sounds cliche, but I think it's the facts, so yeah.
And who's your hero?
I got too many to mention. I could, rattle off a list of heroes, but I've got, literary heroes, artistic heroes. I've got film heroes. I've just got too many. And I guess when I paint a body of work, I call upon all those heroes and call upon all my influences and drag them all into my work. So yeah, I'm very much influenced by cinema and pop culture, so music and television and film. And I love grindhouse cinema, and I love people like Tarantino, and I love that whole idea of the really in-your-face aesthetic, They're the kind of things that I try to think about and try to put together when I start a show. So I'll come up with a title, I'll think about the kind of images that I can have for that title, and then I'll start to research my images. Maybe, if I had to, in this case, I hired a model and bought a model in and actually worked off a model and drew continuously as I had him in different poses, and then the body of work starts to take some shape.
Do you ever get creative blocks or anything? And if so, how do you break that?
This is a really good question, because a lot of people have asked me what happens when you kind of walk into your studio and you dry up. I don't know, you kind of just, you work through it, you rely heavily on your process, you rely heavily on your practice, you invest a lot of time in your planning, and ultimately it pays off, So I put a lot of time in the research, in my planning, in my drawing, in my sketching, in my writing, and ultimately when I tackle a body of work, I get over those blocks that I have, I also always have a promo video for every show I do. In one show, I got kidnapped. In a show I did called Romeo Must Die, I was actually kidnapped, and there was a news flash. So there's always a promo video to every show. This video, I wanted to capture just what I was thinking. I wanted to capture the intensity, the energy, the blood, sweat and tears of the boxing ring.
What's the difference in creating artwork on canvas compared to putting something together on film?
There's no difference. The creative process is the creative process. You visualize, you think about your ideas, you connect to an idea, you bring it to fruition, you work through it, you edit it, you re-edit it, eventually you resolve it, and you kind of, publish it. And film is no different to actual painting.
What's the message you think that Johnny Romeo is trying to portray?
Well, I think we get messages, our own messages, don't we? Not necessarily what he's thinking, but I don't know. I think it speaks of struggle, and it's a really modern message. I love the sort of almost cartoon superhero stuff that he does. I understand he does some superhero paintings as well. So I think it's really interesting. Colour is something that really draws people in. So people react to different colours in different ways, and I think in that sense that he's probably maximising his audience because people are going to be pulled in for various reasons. Yeah, I think it's great. Really interesting. Actually, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I was going to from what was on the website. So I guess that there's a more emotion when you see the art than when you just see it on the web or in print.
Yeah.
So they're all quite emotional, and they have really strong messages that really, I think, fighting doesn't necessarily mean boxing. Fighting can be internal struggle as well, and I think that's probably what I'm getting out of it.
I like it. It's very different to his last show, Sin City, but I think it's just as striking. I think it has a very different energy. I think Sin City was more sort of fun, I think, sort of the rock and roll theme. So this one's a little more, has a lot more energy in it, I think. I think you'd need to choose a space where you put it, but I think it could work very well.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. It's a fantastic space. I think Rob does a great job, and Johnny's a fantastic pop artist. So yeah, it's lovely.
Which one did you purchase tonight?
This one just over here. I think it's a fantastic painting. It's a breakaway from what he's done previously, and there's a lot of detail in it. I think it's very different from everything else that's here tonight.
Are you a fan of boxing?
I'd say a great fan of boxing, but certainly I'm a great fan of art. I like what he's doing, and can certainly understand why he's doing it. And it flows on very much from his superhero, Ned Kelly and the superhero work that he's done in the past. So it flows on very nicely from it. So I can certainly understand the direction he's going in. But as far as a boxing fan, I'll take it or leave it.
I would come. I think it's relevant. I think my work, being a pop artist, is about everyday life, and therefore boxing is a part of, everyday life, be it sport, and so it's just another subject matter that I think is important in my work. Bringing it to Perth is awesome. Because you've got some wonderful boxers that have come out of Perth, and also bringing it to Baratti Fine Art is very exciting as well. I mean, this gallery is an awesome gallery, and Robert Baratti's a visionary when it comes to art and the vision he has for arts in this state. So I'm excited about being here, and I'm excited to show my work in this gallery. Yeah, I think you see. So without going into too much detail, the actual angle of the boxing scene here is very much an over-the-top, over-the-view kind of angle, very much the same way television would cover it, You've got statements like the Great White Trite, the Great White Hope, Trite's crossed out, overused boxing terminology, he's down, the commentator calls out, he's down, the sucker punch, you get the idea. There's, in-your-face action, and there's Street Fighter or Street Fighter, reference to the Great Bite, Holyfield and Tyson, and you've got battle scars over here, and again, another killer punch. Reference to Foo Fighters, you've got the band reference, but also the Foo Fighters, the jet fighter pilot planes, and they're
To the Foo Fighters when you painted this one?
Yeah, I mean, I listen to the Foo Fighters, and I'm a big fan. So, and as you can see, so things crawl into my work. I mean, that one over there, Rise and Fall, again is, that's Rage Against the Machine, But, in a boxing ring, you actually rise or fall, So it has relevance. This is one of the first ones I did in the series. People ask me, why have you got Sting Like a TV, but then it's crossed out Sting Like a Bee? You can't watch a fight on TV without, getting pay TV, So you actually get stung for a fee, So there's a whole play on Sting Like a Bee, which is the famous Muhammad Ali saying, but it's also Sting Like a TV crossed out. And you've got, all those overused boxing jargon, the incredible, versus the indescribable, versus the, and it just goes on. So I thought this was a really great painting to start the series off, and it, I wanted the boxer to be fairly intimidating, and it just really extends itself across the pane.
That's why I think it's such a wonderful exhibition for Johnny too, because it sort of sums up his approach to art as well, and his career. He's a very motivated painter. He's a very focused painter, very disciplined painter. For him, the quality of the work is everything, and I think the emotions of that come through this. It's the art world's a struggle. At the end of the day, it's something you do because you love, to do it. It's got its ups, it's got its downs, and it's the same thing for someone running a gallery, same thing for an artist. But what keeps you there is that you love doing it, and it's just like a boxer. I mean, speaking to Naomi tonight, it's hard work being a boxer. She does it because she loves to do it, and it's just like Johnny, just like myself. You almost feel you don't have a choice to do it. You just love doing it. You want to do it. You do it all the time.
I'm all set. I'm all set. Skin and bones. Skin and bones. Skin and bones.
I mean, to show something like this in the 1950s, people would think, well, just the composition is just out of whack. They've never seen that sort of thing. But in the age of TV, movies, and the internet, we've seen these sort of compositions before. The aerial and shooting a boxer from below and different types of lighting, and this is what speaks to us. It's a digital approach to colour in some respects too. I mean, I hasten to add that every work is hand painted. There's nothing screened. He really is a pure painter. He's a pure pop painter.
That's it for this episode. We hope you've enjoyed the exhibition of Johnny Romeo's Bloodsport. Until next time, we'll see you then.